we have a presentation.
Item A1, recognition of outgoing Councilmember Roger S. Aceves.
Okay, well, I think that's the reason why a lot of us are here this evening. And I have the honor and the privilege to start us off. First of all, we're here to acknowledge, Councilmember Aceves for his 16 years of dedicated service to the city of Goleta and never missing a meeting. I know that's something you're proud of. He was first elected in 2006, re-elected in 2010, 2014, 2018, making him the longest serving council member in Goleta's 20-year history. He served as our mayor in 2009, and again in 2012. But I'd also like to acknowledge, and we like to acknowledge, his commitment to this community. I discovered, I knew he was in law enforcement, but I didn't realize that it was over 32 years. What a commitment to this community. He was in the Sheriff's Department and then the Santa Barbara Police Department. Roger has served on many, many committees, and the list is very long, especially after being here 16 years. And if I started going down the entire list, we would be here quite a while, and I'm sure some of you all want to say a few words. So I'm going to just mention a few. He's a longtime member of LAFCO, the Local Agency Formation Commission. He's on the California Joint Powers Insurance Authority, Regional Integrated Waste Management Reporting Authority, City Hall Facilities, and a big one, Fire Station Development Committee, Economic Development and Revitalization Committee, the Ordinance Review Committee, Public Safety and Emergency Preparedness Committee, and Solid Waste Insurance Committee. Issues, not insurance, solid waste issues. Roger, I'd like to also mention that Roger put together the idea, this was his idea, of Beautify Goleta community cleanup. It started out in Old Town, and then it spread to other areas in the community. And Roger was always there, and he actually was captain of several of these worthwhile events. He's currently the president of the Boys and Girls Club, something he's very proud of. Roger is also a 45-year life member of the Santa Barbara Elks Lodge number 613, where he served as chairman of directors for 5 years. We can't leave out El Presidente and Roger, creation of the Goleta Fiesta celebration, Fiesta Ranchera. We owe that to Roger Aceves. And this year, he also attained grandpa status with the birth of his granddaughter. So, sometimes the media will like to pick up things and say, oh, look, they don't agree, or they're fighting, or they're squabbling, or look, there's disagreement on the city council. Well, I calculated carefully, and 94.37268% of the time we agree. So with that, I would love to present Councilmember Roger Aceves, his city tile, and then welcome my fellow council members to make comments if they choose, and then hear from the public. So right now, I am going to present in special recognition of Roger S. Aceves, City Council, City of Goleta, in appreciation for your dedication and commitment to the City of Goleta, December 4, 2006, December 6, 2022. I see Councilmember Carriaco.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you for sharing those reflections and accomplishments and contributions. I'll talk a little bit about memories. The first one that I have of Roger is when he was El Presidente in 2001. And that was my mom's last fiesta. She died that September. And so that was her last fiesta. And I had the good fortune to win the La Patera PTA silent auction item for a fiesta experience. And when Roger found out who the winner was, he kind of pumped it up a little bit. Suddenly Dignitarios was on it and a few other things. And that was something I was able to give to her. And that was something that my family has never forgotten. So the first memory I have of Roger is his generosity. The second memory I have of Roger is from 2006, being at a wedding for his campaign manager. And it was the day that the vote was being certified. And I was sitting in the row behind him when the county updated their results, and we knew that Roger had won. And so I got to experience restrained joy and have a nice little moment with him. My next one is actually it's nice that Robin Hill Cedarloff is here. When Roger was mayor, and he convened a small working group to try and see if we could finally get the Barnsdall Rio Grande service station to become a city property, and got to experience Roger's determination and steadfastness to preserving Goleta's history and some of the things that make Goleta a special place. And then I have a nice memory of Roger doing something for me that Johnny Wallace had done for him in 2018, which is to take me aside, be generous with his time, show me the ropes a little bit of where the body's buried, but mostly like how to make copies and little things I'll keep between us. And the last memories I'll share, just being up here on the dais with him and having that privilege for the last 4 years, and being able to work with him on compromises like the school resource deputy issue at Dos Pueblos, getting the development impact fees waived for the Islamic Center because they had done a lot of things that were helpful to the city from a circulation standpoint when we needed some help, to his championing creating a diversity, equity, and inclusion committee for the city, being willing to compromise with me so that we could pass a safe storage ordinance for handguns with an agreement that will send it to the ordinance committee and make it a little bit better. But the one that really stood out for me was, this is a guy that's usually really tight-fisted when it comes to city dollars. And I remember when we were right at the 1 yard line to make the Old Town parking project happen. But we got a little bit of a late hit. And that late hit was that the project was going to be more expensive than we had wanted it to be. And the thought of the residents of that underserved and historically sometimes excluded community having to wait longer and longer and longer for them to finally be able to have at least one sidewalk on every side of the street in that community. And Roger set that aside. He set aside his usual commitment to fighting for every last dollar and not wanting to give up and not wanting to give in, because he just said, it's not right, they shouldn't have to wait any longer, let's just do it. And we were able to do it with a unanimous vote because Roger was willing to compromise. And so those are just some of the memories that I have of Roger, and those are the things that I'll hold on to for years to come. Thank you, Roger.
Councilmember Richards.
Thank you. Well, I think what I'd like to comment on, Roger, more than anything, is just how much I appreciate your dedication and your commitment to the community, and how much time and effort you've put into community service, not only on the council for the last 16 years, but on the many different organizations in the community whose boards you've served on. Whether it's, I think one of the first times I heard of you years and years ago was on the Pacific Pride Foundation. I know you served on that, on the United Boys and Girls Club, on the Fiesta, old Spanish Days Fiesta. I had a list. I can't remember all the Fairview Gardens. I know there are many more. Those are some of the ones that stick out for me that I recognize, that I know that you've been very involved with. And also with regard to the fiestas, getting Fiesta Ranchera here in Goleta, and I'm very grateful for that. That's an event that has really become a symbol of Goleta and a real partnership and integration with the activities that are going on downtown. In fact, I wore the shirt that I wore at Fiesta this year in honor of you, so thank you. And just your knowledge and history and what you brought as a perspective to the council, remembering back and always, having that nugget of like, well, this is why this happened, or this is why we're doing that, or don't you remember that this was the history that goes behind that, and that has been invaluable, and I've really appreciated that, and I'm very grateful for all of that you've brought. The Elks Lodge, I forgot to mention, of course, the Elks Lodge, and sponsoring me and my partner to become members of the Elks Lodge. So I'm very grateful of that. First and foremost, I'm grateful for your efforts as a public servant, and I hope that you agree that you're leaving the city in better shape than when it was when you started, and I hope that is you find some satisfaction in that. And I would say, one of the highest tributes is the number of people that are here tonight that will speak on your behalf, and the community members and the residents and all the people whose lives you made an impact in the city. So thank you very much.
Mayor Pro Tem Caston.
Yeah, so when we talked about where there's various disagreements, that was often me and Roger. And I will give you credit for being both knowledgeable, wily, and very formidable in being able to press the concerns that you had and be able to prevail often enough, even when I was desperately trying to come up with something else. So where you go next, I'm sure you'll contribute enormously to whatever organizations and wherever you're going. And congratulations on your time here, and the best of luck to you.
Okay, do we have speakers, either on Zoom or in person?
If there are any members of the public wishing to speak on the Zoom webinar, would you please use the raise hand feature, and I will call on you. And additionally, we do have some paper slips. Would you like me to call those first, or
Yes,
Zoom?
please
Okay.
do.
So in the audience, we have Michael Baker. If you can please come up to the microphone.
I have an hour, right? 1 hour?
We're not
Take
timing
that.
you.
No. In all seriousness, it's absolutely a pleasure to be here. I stand here representing the 5,000 kids that go to our clubs and the hundreds of thousands of kids that have gone to our clubs since it started in 1938. I stand here representing Donnie Yee and George Cellini, who are looking down right now, and very proud of you and what you've done. Roger didn't grow up in Goleta. He's a Santa Barbara kid who went to the boys' club. It's called the boys' club then, and found his way there. Went on to serve not only in the police department, but this community where he didn't grow up. I can't think of a better testament of what we hope children go on to be than what you've done and what you continue to do. In my career, I've dealt with hundreds of politicians, and I can tell you this about Roger. When Roger tells you he's going to do something, he does it. You can take it to the bank. And that's incredibly valuable in my field and what we do. And I just want to thank you, Roger, for your time. You've been a pleasure to work with as our board chair. And I'm going to put you on the spot, James, because you are the lone representative of our alumni. I see the cup. I saw it. I pointed it out before. Very good. You are also an alum of Boys and Girls Clubs, and we're looking to you to keep the light shining here. And Roger, final thing I want to say is a very special thank you to two people who don't get as much credit as they should for Roger's time, and that's his wife Debbie and his son Tim. You heard all these things that he's done in the community. That's time away from the family, but he's made the community a better place because of it. So, Debbie and Tim, I don't know if they're here. There we go. There we go. No, I don't see it. No, but if you're watching at home, thank you for sharing Roger with all of us, and God bless you, and we'll see you at the next board meeting for sure.
Next is Eric Onen, followed by Michael Bennett.
All right, Mayor Perotti, councilmen, council people, council persons, thank you for the opportunity to speak. To Mr. Aceves, councilman, mayor, Roger, thank you for your 16 years of service to Goleta. And congratulations on 4 terms well served. The time's almost here where you're going to get to reflect on those years of service and this portion of your life. And I'd like to leave you with a few words that you can ponder. First of all, you have served with integrity. And I hope that you can see that this time has been a complete and total success. And I know what you'll say, and there's more to do. Of course, because with this job, it's never done. You will be forever changed, Mr. Aceves, by the experiences of your time on the council. You were enlightened, you were challenged, you were drained, you were inspired, you were determined/stubborn, and you were always caring for Goleta, for the people, the places, the land, the sea, the entities, the oddities, the work, the play, our home, our home. Goleta will be forever changed by your efforts. Goleta will long benefit from your vision. So, as you engage in the new endeavors in your life, savor the blessings, treasure the moments, and indulge in leisure hours well spent. You have earned it.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, it gives me great pleasure to appear before you this evening. I haven't been here often in the last 4 years. This is my second time in that length of time. But it is with mixed feelings because I'm sad to see Roger leaving. He has, as other speakers have said, been an incredible inspiration for our community. He certainly has represented our community very, very well. And he has been a very, very strong advocate for the financial position of our community, which is a tremendous benefit and is so important as we go into the future, even though I was an opponent, as you go forward with the money that the community has given you on the increase in the sales tax. So that's quite a responsibility to be able to allocate, spend that money responsibly. And if Roger were here, I know that he would do that. I'd have no concern. Moving beyond that, as one of the other speakers talks about, is what is taken away from your family based on all the time. Most folks in the community, I think they see us here at the dais, but it's so much more than that. It's committee meetings. It's reading and reviewing and maybe even doing a little research or asking questions on things that come up before council, before decisions are made. That's critically important. And without that, then you're not going to be a very effective council member. And Roger was an incredibly effective council member. But that takes away from family time. Now, as also said by another speaker, Roger is just now beginning to enjoy his first grandchild. And I can tell him from experience, because I have a few of those, but I just enjoyed my great-grandchild's first birthday this last weekend. So I can tell you, you have joy to look forward to in the future that absolutely is something now you can spend the appropriate time with your family. And that is awesome. Absolutely incredibly awesome and so very special. So with that, Roger, I really want to say thank you. Your 16 years have been absolutely incredible on behalf of this community. Your integrity is impeccable, and there's certainly going to be a loss for us as the community goes forward. But as another speaker said, the community always goes forward because there's things to do, there's things that need to be done, and everyone rises to that occasion and makes all that happen on behalf of our community. So again, thank you. It's been a pleasure serving with you, and I look forward to us getting together and have a little cerveza. Take care.
Next is Richard Foster, followed by Kristen Miller.
Members of council, Madam Mayor, actually a little sorry to be reading this tonight because it meant Roger lost, but I hope his replacement does as well as he did. You know, when Roger first ran for the city council, along with a couple of gentlemen over here, it was when developers were rather frustrated with a slow growth council and the fact we really didn't have much of a building department yet. And some of us were a little concerned because it looked like too much developer money was going to them. And I actually put up some signs that said, "Vote no on the PAC money, boys." Somebody promptly tore those signs down too, so I've got a track record there. But I was wrong. You know, Roger's proven to be a diligent and faithful member of this council. Most importantly, he's been a solid, steady voice for fiscal responsibility, not a tax and spend advocate of frivolous or boutique projects. And despite having voted for a few that I would prefer to see die, he's always had the best welfare of Goleta at heart. His track record for keeping our city solvent and never missing a meeting sets a high bar for those who will follow after him. Thank you, Councilmember Aceves.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the council. I'm Kristen Miller with the Santa Barbara South Coast Chamber of Commerce from Goleta to Carpinteria. The Chamber and I would like to express our gratitude for the many years of exemplary service from Councilmember Aceves. His respect for his position as a council member was clear in his dedication to never missing a meeting, researching every topic that came before the council, and meeting with constituents. We thank him for his statesmanship and professionalism when the new city was just establishing its tone and demeanor. Councilmember Aceves stepped up to serve Goleta when it was still a young city, less than 5 years old, and he has served our community on the city council for 16 years with 2 terms as mayor. We've been lucky to have a community member who's been so willing to serve in the long term, attending countless ribbon cuttings, roundtables, State of the City events, Lemon Festival pie eating contests, Old Town cleanup days, Old Town walks, chamber mixers, magazine launches, and was our Goleta's Finest Man of the Year in 2017. He's been a staunch supporter of tourism and visitor services programs and kept us close to his work on the MTD board and at SBCAG, and of course, a founder of Fiesta Ranchera. The Chamber has enjoyed a close relationship with Councilmember Aceves, and we will miss his guidance. Though we wish him luck in all the other ways that he serves our community through the Boys and Girls Club, Old Spanish Days, and beyond. The Chamber looks forward to continuing our work with City Council, but tonight is about saying a huge thank you to Councilmember Aceves. You have served our community with pride for many years. You've been a friend to the Chamber and a friend to me. Thank you. Now give me that gift.
Oh, nice. Photo op. Wow, that's wonderful.
Next is Tony Vallejo, followed by Under Sheriff Bonin.
Okay, I think I'm the last former city council person to speak tonight, right? Madam Mayor, members of the council, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm not prepared. I thought it was a roast, so I had all this material. Kidding. I will be brief, though. Roger and I have a friendship that goes beyond this room, thank God, so I don't think I need to tell him how much I admire what he does, what he does here and what he's done for our community. He's one of the primary reasons I sat up there for a couple of years. He was the one that encouraged me to do it. I thought he was crazy. Some people here might think he was crazy too, depending on how you thought I did. But Roger, we go beyond this room. So you know how I feel about you. You brought financial responsibility to this council. You brought integrity. You brought common sense. And I truly appreciate everything you did here, what you've done as a law enforcement officer, what you continue to do for the United Boys and Girls Club. I'll work in one more plug for United Boys and Girls Club. Thank you for everything you've done. Go enjoy that granddaughter now, and maybe you and I can get together for a couple more drinks at the Elks now that you have more time. And I want to say this now because you're almost done, so you can do it. You can smile now, Roger. Go ahead. Thank you, Roger.
Good afternoon, Mayor, or evening, Mayor Perotti and council members. Sheriff Brown wasn't able to be here. I'm here representing him. He's out of county at a state sheriff's board meeting. And he's written a letter for you, Roger. It has a lot of the same items that have already been spoken to, so I'm going to go off and not read the actual letter. I'll give it to you. But on behalf of Sheriff Brown, on behalf of all of the men and women of the sheriff's office, and for that matter, the entire local community, thank you for your decades, and I do mean decades, of public service. It is truly a record that is commendable, and I can tell you that I am grateful for the opportunity to have worked with you and with the city for a number of years now. The Sheriff's Office truly appreciates the relationship that we have with the city of Goleta, and a lot of that comes down to the relationships that we have with the city's leadership and your staff. And I personally have appreciated working with you within the Public Safety Committee. I truly appreciate your insight and your advocacy when appropriate. But again, I'm not a mathematician, but I happen to think that this is about 50 years of public service. And from what I hear, there's more to come, but I truly, and again, on behalf of Sheriff Brown, on behalf of all of the men and women, hope that you truly enjoy your retirement moving forward. Spend time with Debbie and spend time with your grandchildren. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Erica Reyes on behalf of Congressman Carbajal, followed by Gina Fisher, Office of Supervisor Hartman.
Good evening, Mayor Perotti, council members, and the Goleta community. My name is Erica Reyes, District Director with Congressman Salud Carbajal's office. And as they are wrapping up the 117th Congress to make way for January 3rd, 118th, he asked me to be here on his behalf to present Councilmember Aceves with a certificate of congressional recognition. I think every speaker before me tonight is a testament to your dedicated service and the legacy that you leave, as well as big shoes that the next member will have to fill. So on behalf of Congressman Carbajal, I'd like to present you with a certificate of special congressional recognition presented to Councilmember Roger Aceves in honor of 16 years of service to the city of Goleta and in recognition of outstanding and invaluable service to the community.
Yeah.
Can I get you that?
Thank you.
Got to get back in there, Craig.
Yeah, you can't get by no pictures from Kelly.
You didn't even understand.
All right. Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members. My name is Gina Fisher, and I'm here on behalf of Board Chair and 3rd District County Supervisor Joan Hartman. We will be honoring, the Board of Supervisors will be honoring Councilmember Aceves next Tuesday in person at the board hearing room at 9 a.m. in Santa Barbara. And so we have a resolution. There is a 300-word limit on Board of Supervisors resolutions, but just in the part that has significant accomplishments in the city of Goleta during Roger's tenure probably exceeded that limit. And then there was another section about Roger's civic participation and dedication to the community and how deep it runs, and that probably exceeded our word limit also. So it's going to be read in probably a size 8.5 font just to get through the resolution so it could fit on the pretty paper. But it will be read there, and many of the things have already been commented. So I'll take this moment of a point of personal privilege and just recognize when I was a young professional just emerging out of college, I worked at the Food Bank of Santa Barbara County, and then I worked at Planned Parenthood. And any time in either of those roles, I needed an ally, an advocate, or somebody willing to go on a tour of a program, you were the first elected official on the entire Central Coast to respond, to sign up, to say yes, to show up, especially for children, to work and volunteer. And I'll never forget at the Boys and Girls Club in Goleta, we had and this goes back to your integrity and your sense of fairness. We had kids who could take bags of food, and it was really not that well regulated, and we just wanted the food to get taken home. And I remember you would inspect the bags that the children to make sure that everybody had equal amounts, that everybody got the maximum that they could get and that they were taken care of. And I just thought that that's a really remarkable quality to make sure that everyone is taken care of and everyone is treated equally. And it left an impression because that was many, many years ago. You've always been very kind and fair to me as a young professional and somebody who works for a member of the Board of Supervisors. And I really appreciate that. And I congratulate you on your well-earned retirement. Thank you.
And Jason Chapman. Just as a reminder to those on the webinar app, if you can please use the raise hand feature and I will call on you.
Hi, Councilmember Aceves, City Council. I just wanted to say thanks for your service to the city. For someone my age, 16 years is a really long time. I haven't had a job or even a school for 16 years, so that's hard to imagine, but That's impressive, and that's a level of dedication to your community that I hope to try to emulate. And I also wanted to say that the 16 years of not missing a meeting is also just another kind of testament to the determination and dedication. And I just want to say thank you.
That concludes the paper comment request to speak forms. If there are any members of the public on the webinar app who wish to speak, please use the raise your hand feature. And I do not see any responses.
Well, I have one more presentation. I waited to the end, and then we will take a break, and people may want to look at this or sign it. Staff has put something together for you. I haven't even looked at it yet. Look at the cover.
Oh, my God. It's a picture of me when I was in the holiday parade.
Well, Councilmember Aceves.
Okay. I've probably written about 20 speeches, and I've torn them all up. Because I really didn't know what to say concisely to show the honor that I've received from this community. When and James mentioned it, when I ran the first time, in fact, Michael Bennett and Harry Connor met for coffee before this whole thing started. They want to know if I'm really going to run. I said, yeah, I think I'm going to run. They said, well, why are you running? Well, I don't know why I'm going to run, but I took out the papers and I'm going to run. So we were all election night, ballots were coming in, and there were 6 of us going for 3 spots. And I came in 4th. I was like 85 votes behind. And Michael and Eric came down to where we were having our party and gave me their condolences. And in fact, I got a real nice letter from the late Michael Tobes who said, congratulations on a good run, please try again. I got that framed. But then on the Friday before the Tuesday of swearing in, I get called from the county election saying, you won. Came in 3rd. I said, okay, so Tuesday night, get sworn in. That was Tuesday, December 6th, 2006. Now, here we are, December 6th, 2022. Actually, my last day is going to be the 20th because I'm going to be here tomorrow night for the airport hearing, and then my last day would be the 20th. But my time has gone by so quickly. I'm glad that people mention my family. I know Tony Vallejo would always point at me, you better talk about Debbie. You know, when we enter politics, it's kind of, it's our thing. You know, it's our thing that we want to do. And, but when you get into politics, you bring your family in whether they want it or not. And you got to think about that. I haven't missed a meeting in 16 years. That means our vacations have already been scheduled between meetings. But I have a wonderful wife who's been with me for 50 years. And has put up with it. Matter of fact, she didn't want me to be a cop to begin with. She was afraid I was going to get hurt. And every time I had surgeries, I told you so. But I'm so proud of the 32 years I did because I never medically retired, even though I could have. It was a service retirement. That was something very important to me. But even then, she's kind of like, oh, you know, do you really want to do that? But I've had a wonderful time on this council with the many councils that we've had. Yes, there's been some disagreement, but we've worked together. It was mentioned when I came on, we were not quite 5 years old. we're still in kindergarten. And now we're 20 years old, we're adults, and now we have to act like adults and get things done. But we have done so much, but it hasn't because of me. It's been because of you. It's been because of this incredible staff that we have and their dedication. I mean, I get the chance to see the work done every day. I mean, my office is right next to the receptionist. And when she greets people there, I can hear the contact. I can hear the professionalism. I can hear, what can I do for you? And that's where it starts. I got Miss Deborah Lopez sitting in the back of the room there. I knew her before she worked for the city of Goleta. And I've got to see the work that she did with her office, her division, which basically started like with one person. Now I think you have 3, but, and it's growing. But the staff and the council working together. But it's also the community. It's also knowing that we're not always going to agree, but we have to always be prepared to look and hear from the other side. Because you can't make the right decision unless you look at both sides of the coin. And I hope, and that's the one advice I give to my soon-to-be, my colleagues now, but is that, we always pride ourselves in getting public input and making sure the public had a right to respond. But the one thing we don't do is we don't recognize opposing opinions because they're as valuable as the opinion that you have, and it makes you a better person. And that's why I enjoyed what I've done. I think somebody said I'm leaving the city in good hands. I couldn't agree with that more. I think that great things will come. I've always said to staff and our city managers is that we're a small city, but we do things in a big way. And anytime we do something, we raise the Goleta flag. And if you can look at our employees, and look at their resumes, we steal the best from other cities. In fact, I always go to Santa Barbara and say, guess who we got today? Oh yeah, I heard they're leaving us. Yep. Because we have a better place for them to work. And so I really pride myself in kidding my colleagues from other cities. But we are leaving the city in a better place. I look forward to taking some time off. 32 years in law enforcement and 16 years here, I never really retired. And of course, Mr. Baker sitting in the front row there is making sure I'm not going to retire totally. With the Boys and Girls Club, we have great things to do with that organization, but I've never really retired. And now there's a little girl named Francesca Luna. That's going to help you retire. So here's a book. Hope everybody will sign it. Thank you so much for showing up tonight. I was afraid I was going to come to be an empty room. And I didn't know what I was going to say, but to see all my friends here, people that I've worked with in the past and people that I will continue to work with in the future. I see Valerie over there. Great to see you, Valerie. Brings back some great memories. So thank you for showing up. Sign my book, and we'll see you at Fiesta Ranchera.
Okay, we're going to we're going to recess for 15, 20 minutes for cupcakes. I think there was a request for carrot cake.
Carrot cake.
Cupcake.
All right. And come please sign my book.